guys, how's it going? Hope y'all had a good Christmas and stuff. So, I haven't done an update in like a month and a half, so I figured now would be a good time to do one because I've gotten in a lot of shit, like a combination of like Christmas money I bought records with and like just random orders, so yeah. If I sound a little bit fucked up, I'm fucking sick, so that sucks, but hopefully it'll be better by Monday, so hopefully, we'll see. Yeah, before I show the first record, today's background music, Over Perdition City. Not my favorite of the non-metal stuff, but I figured I'm not really in the mood for like extreme shit right now, so it's just some good background music, so yeah. So, first up we got Violation with Moonlight's Child. So this is their second record from 2000. These guys are from Germany, but they sound pretty Swedish in like the more melodic style, but don't think like your typical like Dark Tranquility or In Flames with Gates of Ishtar. It's definitely, I would say, more along the lines of like late 90s Hypocrisy. So like the final chapter or the self-titled era of Hypocrisy, definitely in that style. I'm not familiar with the guy's first record. This was cheap on eBay, so if you like late 90s Hypocrisy, check it out. I'm picky with the style, but still good, so yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry if I'm not very descriptive. I have a lot of shit to show. I don't want this video to be fucking terribly long, so. Next up, Thulkandra, A Dying Wish. Their fourth record, I think. These guys are from Germany, and they basically, this band was like formed to pay tribute to Dissection. Guys are featured. Ooh, well, I'll show this. The main guy in this band is also the main guy in Obscure, so I guess I'll show these at the same time because these are both new records and they both feature the same dude. So I probably prefer Thulkandra, though I have more Obscure, but definitely this is probably one of their strongest records in a while. I think they got back some of the members that were on their best records, so that maybe gave them a burst of new energy, but the last record I really enjoyed. The first like a while I listened to it, but then after a while I just kind of stopped playing it, and I haven't really gone back to it since. But this one I can definitely see myself respinning. Cosmo Genesis is definitely my favorite by them, but this is probably my second favorite now, so yeah. Good shit. I'm picky with tech death, but Obscure are one of the few bands in that scene I actually like, so not like super wanky and like a bunch of sweet picking stuff. They actually have memorable songs. I like a lot of those bands, but... And then this one, this came out the same year, last year. This is from Napalm Records. This is Nuclear Blast. Yeah, Nuclear Blast. These guys were signed to Relapse, but... Favorite song... Oh, I think on this... Yeah, they cover Night's Blood. This is just a live version. I think on the first record, they covered the Somber Lane, so... And I believe this artwork from Necrolord, too, so it's very fitting. So, yeah. If you like Dissection, the good era, the first two records, not that Rain Chaos bullshit, definitely check out Thulkandra. Maybe the best records, either this or the debut is my favorite, but all this stuff is great, so yeah. Thulkandra, check it out. Next up, filling in my holes in my Razor collection, I got Open Hostility. Their last record I care about, honestly. I don't really give a shit about Decibels, that record's terrible, but I am still curious to hear the new record, because I'm subscribed to Dave Color's YouTube channel, and apparently he said the new record's done, but he's been dealing with some family shit. That's why it's taking forever to come out, which obviously family comes first, so I'm like, Dave, take your time, don't worry, but he said sometime next year is probably when it's going to be out, and they're still signed to Relapse, so we put out the Relapse, but yeah. But with this singer, this is probably my favorite, because I know after Sheepdog quit, they've done 3 albums since. It was Shotgun Justice, this one, and then Decibels, but Decibels was terrible, but, so yeah. I was hoping to get this LP, but the CD was a good price in my local store, so I couldn't turn it down, so yeah. And if you know you like, I was gonna say German, but if you know your Canadian thrash, you definitely should know Razor. They're definitely one of the bigger bands from that scene. So this band, I don't really consider myself a fan of, because this is honestly the only album I like by them, but it's still a fun record. Sacred Reich with Ignorance. So, honestly, my problem with Sacred Reich is, honestly, their politics, like, got in the way with making good music. Like, later on, their music got more generic, and their politics got, like, more upfront. They were more concerned about what they're singing about than making actual good music, which, I get it, it's important to have a message, but still, you a band to make music, you're not a fucking, like, political agenda shit, or whatever, but... This came out in '87 originally on Metal Blade. I think there's a Metal Blade 2021 repress. Not last time I went to the record store, but the time before that, they had this on vinyl. I almost got the vinyl. I'm like, oh, it'll be the next time. And I went back and it was gone, but they had the CD, so. I kind of wish I got the LP, but I will eventually, so yeah. Sacred Reich, Ignorance. Good Arizona thrash from the mid-'80s, so if you're going to check out one Sacred Reich record, make sure it's Ignorance. Okay, 2 albums by the same band. I know Matt showed these in his last update. Doctoral I'm honestly not a big fan of these guys. Well, I liked them more when I was younger, but honestly, I'm picking when it comes to melodic death metal stuff, but their first 3 records are definitely solid. After that, it's kind of, not bad, I just don't really care. Like, I don't even have the debut. These are honestly, these are the first 2 Dark Tranquility records I've ever owned, so. But my favorite of these 2, probably The Mind's Eye. This is the one I've been playing more since I got these books. I still need to pick up the debut, though the debut is kind of different because they had a different vocalist. Favorites, I was going to say, if you want to check out either of these, I suggest The Mind's Eye, but both are great, so yeah. These are 2021 Century Media represses, that one is, and so is that, so yeah. My favorite band from the Gothenburg scene is definitely Gates of Ishtar, because they did what a lot of bands should have done. Before they started to suck, they broke up, and, well, they're back together now since 2015, but they haven't put out any records, so that's what you should do, but at the gate, I'm talking to you, but oh well. So. Next up, Sodom M16. I saw on their Instagram they announced a repress for the vinyl. I thought about picking it up, but once I saw the price, that's not happening, so no. I think they want $60 for this, a brand new repress. I'm not sure why they wanted that much. Maybe because it's like from Germany, I get it, but still, it's kind of excessive. And considering this isn't one of my favorite records by Sodom, I wasn't going to pay that much. Now, if it was Tapping the Vein for $60 on vinyl, I would have done that all day, because that's easily my favorite record by Sodom. But this one's probably one of my favorites if they're like post-Code Red stuff, but probably my 3rd favorite, because after Code Red, I think my favorite's probably In War and Pieces, or honestly the new one. Again, I think everyone watching this video knows what Sodom sounds like, but this is like a super nice, like, digibook hard shell case edition, which is kind of annoying because the record, or the CD, you have to do this and hopefully not scratch it up, but yeah. I also has a couple of their popular songs like Genocide, the title track, and Napalm in the Morning, but yeah. One of the best album artworks, though, too. Even if you don't like the music, you have to admit the artwork's awesome, always. So yeah. Sodom M16. Good record, it's not one of the best. Okay, next up we got a classic. I didn't even know this got repressed, but when I saw it at my local store, I definitely glad to snatch it up. The Unanimated, the In the Forest of the Dreaming Dead. Maybe my favorite album by then. I wasn't super familiar with this one. I also have the recent, where the fuck is it? I also have this one that got repressed in 2020, so definitely got to pick up that one. It's between these 2, but it depends on my mood, my day. This one I say is like more almost death metal-y, where this is definitely melodic black, but this is kind of like, honestly, this reminds me a lot of the Dawn demos, where it's like melodic death, but pushing towards black, but not really full-on black metal yet. It's kind of in that direction, but if you want to listen to one song, I say check out Through the Gates of Firestorm, or the title track, but this whole record's awesome, so yeah. Unanimated, In the Forest of the Dreaming Dead, Century Media 2021 repress, so yeah. Good shit. Next up, Catatonia Knight Is the New Day. Definitely, honestly, in my top 3 favorites by them, it's probably Brave, Murder Day, Viva Emptiness, and this, but honestly, it's either this or the album after this is the last record I like. I don't remember if I enjoyed the one after this, but after those records, it got kind of like, not bad, it's kind of like generic sounding and uninspired, but if you only like the early material, I'm not going to say you like this, but I definitely embrace the more like commercial rock side. That's good, because like, it's for different moods. If you're in the mood for death metal, you can have their first too. If you want something more commercial, more melodic, check out the stuff afterwards. But yeah, if you want the more melodic style, I suggest this one over Viva Emptiness. But obviously, if you only like the death metal stuff, then you're probably not gonna like this. Though it's still heavy, but not like growling. He just like clean vocals, but still like has a heavy guitar tone. So honestly, this is what I wished like the proggy era of Opus sounded like instead of what we got. So yeah, Catatonia Knight Is the New Day. Yeah, 2021 Peaceful Repress. So yeah, great shit. Catatonia rules, or at least they used to. Okay, these are 3 from the same band. So I was on a power metal kick for a little bit, so I picked up these 3 albums by Storm Warrior. I got Self-Titled, which is definitely the best record, Thunder and Steel, and then Norseman. So these guys are from Germany, and basically, to me, this is like, honestly, Halloween after, well, some of the stuff after Keeper 2 was kind of like, hit and miss. I've tried some of the indie stuff besides the new album, the Self-Titled that I've fallen in love with, but everything in between, most of the stuff in between Keeper 2 and that one's kind of at least to me. But these guys are definitely filling in the void, which this is what I wish Halloween still sounded like, because this is basically like Walls of Jericho mixed with the first 2 Blind Guardian records. So I wish Halloween still played speed metal, though I know that's not realistic. That's probably not going to happen again, but I still want that, damn it. So, because Walls of Jericho is easily my favorite record by Halloween. But there are some songs in this, I guarantee if they're not stuck in your head, there was something wrong with you. Seriously, listen to Sons of Steel and the Axe Widow. If the songs don't get stuck in your head, there's no helping you. I'm sorry, but. And also, Kai Hansen, I think, produced this album, and he did Chains of Slavery with them, and they also cover Heavy Metal Is the Law off of Keeper 1. It's either Keeper 1 or Walls of Jericho, I don't remember, but yeah. All the records are great, but this one is definitely my favorite. Then Thunder and Steel, they still have a little bit of the speed metal stuff, but this, I would say, after the first 2, if the first 2 were like Walls of Jericho, everything after is kind of like their take on Keeper 1, where there's like hints of speed metal, but it's mostly kind of more like mid-pace, just good old metal. But the only thing I don't really like, well, it's kind of not bad, but after the first 2 records, also, the singer kind of changes voice. It sounds kind of like oddly nasally, which is not in a bad way. I prefer the more like gruff, like Kai Hansen style vocals opposed to the more like nasally type. Who put these out? I forgot to say. So this one is put out through Remedy Records 2002. And these guys are from Germany, but you can tell that just by listening to them. Massacre Records 2014. So I think this is their second most recent. I'm going to show the CD also, if I didn't show that. And then one of the bands that they only have one original member left, and it's the guy who formed the band. Like, seems like most bands are like one guy left, and he's the founding member. And then Norseman, probably their best artwork though. I really want a t-shirt with that artwork. And then this is put out through Massacre Records also. So I got these on eBay, but Discogs, I'm pretty sure they have them. But if you want the LP, all I can say is good luck not paying like 150 bucks for the LP. So if you like good old early Halloween, early Blind Guardian, you can't go wrong with any of these 3 records, to be honest. So yeah, Storm Warrior, Self-Titled, Thunder and Steel, and Norseman. They have 6 records, so I'm on the lookout for the other 3, but I'll get them soon. So yeah, great shit. That's the power metal I like, is the stuff mixed with speed metal. That's definitely my take on power metal, my favorite. Alrighty, so speaking of good old early power metal, I realized I only own 2 Running Wild albums, so I definitely needed to fix that. So I got a few more. We got, these aren't in order, so I kind of fucked that up. Blazing Stone, Port Royal, and yes, I know, I think Matt showed these exact same ones on vinyl, so he's cooler than me. I only have the CDs. Pile of Skulls, Brandon in Exile, and Masquerade. I still need to get Under Jolly Roger and the one with, I can think of it. God damn, he showed it. I can't remember what the album's called. I'll put the picture if I remember it, but yeah. I only had Death of Glory and Gates of Purgatory. Well, Death and Glory is definitely my favorite, but start with Brandon in Exile. I think this one came next. This is their second record. I don't remember what year. This is from 2017, BMG Noise Repress. This is definitely one of their best records, though. Honestly, their first 10 records are all solid, and after that, kind of hit or miss, but the first 10, definitely you can't go wrong, but not one of my favorites. It's probably like somewhere in the middle, but still solid. Favorite songs on this one, probably Evil Spite in the title track, but the last song, Chains of Leather, no, that song's super cheesy. Chains and leather, we ride together. No. And this also has some re-recorded tracks. It has three re-recorded songs from 91 and 2 from 2003. So front. Plain CD. I'm not pulling out the booklet. So yeah. Brandon Exile, then I think Port Royal came next. I have the t-shirt for this. Probably one of their best album artworks. I would say probably my third or fourth favorite. Not like that matters, but favorite songs in this one, the title track and War Child. So when it comes to the traditional metal from Germany, Running Wild are definitely my favorite band. Though as much as I love early Blind Guardian, Running Wild has more albums that I like, so I guess they get the edge for that. Then Pile of Skulls is like a double CD version. So CD1 is the actual album, CD2 is bonus tracks, which I'm not really a fan of bonus tracks, but if you're going to do them, at least do them on the another CD, because I like to listen to the album the way it's intended to be, and not have bonus tracks fucking up the flow of it. Which one is this? I'll get that to later, so yeah. Pile of Skulls. Then Blazing Stone. I think this is a single CD. They had the bonus tracks on the CD, but whatever. Favorite songs this one, probably the title track and Straight to Hell. And they also covered Genocide by Thin Lizzy, which is definitely one of my favorite songs off of Chinatown, which is my favorite Thin Lizzy record, so yeah. Running Wild, Blazing Stone, and then Masquerade. Honestly, probably my third favorite of everything after Death of Glory. Probably one of my favorites, so yeah. I've seen people complain about the production on this one. I don't really get why, but maybe it sounds slightly muddy, but it's still not that bad, but yeah. Favorite song on this one, probably Wheel of Doom and Black Soul, or the title track. And also on this, it comes with 2 bonus tracks, 2 2003 re-recorded songs. On this one, it has also 2 re-recorded songs, and then bonus tracks on this one, and then bonus re-recording on that one, and then bonus shit, so yeah. Running Wild rules. Love Running Wild. If you like some good early 80s heavy metal from Germany, and you like Judas Priest, but something, honestly, I like Running Wild better than Judas Priest. Don't tell anybody. But yeah, great shit. Alright, next up we got Candlemass Nightfall. This is the first Candlemass record I've ever owned. I've been kind of picky with Doom stuff lately, but I've been getting more into it the last few months. Probably one of my favorites of everything I've heard from these guys is either this or Ancient Dreams is my favorite, but definitely I think their albums with Messiah are definitely their best. So if you know Doom metal, you definitely know Candlemass, one of the bigger names in that scene, which when it comes to Doom, I usually prefer Death Doom, but still good release. But my favorite Doom band is definitely My Dying Bride. Honestly, they only have one album I don't like. It's the Percent Complete one. Besides that, I don't think they have a bad album in their catalog, but that's just me. So next up, I mentioned these guys earlier, but I had to get the new one. Hypocrisy Worship. Honestly, again, like Candlemass, Jesus Christ. Like My Dying Bride, they only have one album I don't like, and not surprisingly, it's the one when they try to experiment and they failed badly, and they say, "Oh, I forget this." So then they went back to doing what they've done, and they've been steady again ever since. But definitely, I would say this has more in common with, say, like the Final Chapter than their more like more melodic stuff. They've kind of gone backwards in sound-wise, but so if you like the Final Chapter, I'd say definitely check this one out. So yeah, Hypocrisy, Arrival, Jesus Christ, Worship. Looking forward to seeing those guys at MDF. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled again. Okay, next up, we got two albums by the same band. Aborted. Got Manti Cult. Yeah, Manti Cult. And the EP, The Grand Dance Macabre. So I like Aborted, but there's one of those bands, like, when I'm looking for CDs online, I never think to buy any. They're one of those bands, if I ever see a CD in my local shop, I'll pick it up, but I'm never, like, in a big hurry to get this stuff. Though they're enjoyable, I don't know, I still don't really spin them that often, but this is still a good release, so. I know they started out as, like, more, like, brutal death metal band, but this is definitely, like, the last while they've become, like, more technical and, like, faster and not as nasty, but this is definitely still a fun release, so. Who put this out? Century Media? Yeah, Century Media 2021, if I didn't show the CD. And this came out in 2020, yeah, last year. My favorite's probably Necrotic Manifesto, but honestly, of all the stuff I've heard, I haven't heard everything by these guys, but what I've heard, I've enjoyed, so yeah. Aborted. Definitely not something I'll be listening to all the time, but I'm in the mood for, like, super fast, technical death metal. This is definitely a good band to scratch that itch, so yeah. Aborted, check that out. Okay, another band I'm filling in the holes with. Now I have every full length, so finally done. We got Absu, so the first self-titled Absu. Then we got, Abzu. Then we got the new self-titled Prescription McGovern's Absu, so these three I got on eBay. My favorite is probably Third Storm of Cethereal. Yeah, my favorite is definitely this one, but I love all this shit. So this one, if I had to say my least favorite, it would probably be this one. It's not bad. Just some of the songs kind of like wander and don't really seem that inspired at points, honestly. But it's still a good record though. So I definitely am glad to have it. Oops, kind of broke. This came out in, I think, 2009? It seems kind of late. I want to say between 2006 and 2009 was this one. And then the second self-titled, I think, came out in 2014, maybe? 2014, 2016, but this one's kind of underrated. I don't really see people mention this one. This is probably one of my favorites, though. It's kind of hard to choose a favorite for these guys because all this stuff is great. But if you don't know Absu, they're just really awesome, kind of thrashy, thrashy black metal with a good traditional metal edge. So then the new one. So I would say this is probably this album seems like it has a good mixture of the more epic stuff and more like thrashy stuff. This album seems like it would fit perfect in between the Third Storm and Terror, so definitely in that vein. So if you like the more thrashy stuff that was on this one and the more epic, like lengthy atmospheric stuff that was on Terror, definitely check out the new one. So yeah, Prescription McGovern's Absu. Okay, next up, Blazing Stone Port Royal. So if you can't tell by the album name and the artwork, this is basically Running Wild Worship. Which the guy in the band, I've seen a couple interviews with him, and he said that was basically very much the intention, was to pay tribute to Running Wild, because after a while, Running Wild got kind of boring in generics, and these guys, I think, were starting at the same time when Running Wild got pretty boring and kind of uninspired. So if you want a good band to, like, if you want to listen to some Running Wild actually be inspired in the in the late 90s, early 2000s. Definitely check out Blazing Stone instead of the later Running Wild stuff, but yeah. Okay, one of my favorites from last year, Mortiferum, Perverse in Torment. So honestly, I never really clicked with their last record, but this one definitely surprised me, so maybe I should go back to the last record and see if I just wasn't in the mood for it, but maybe that may be the thing, because when it comes to doomy stuff, my mood goes in and out between doom. Sometimes I'm really in the mood for it, and sometimes if I'm not, then no bueno, but these guys get labeled Death Doom, but to me, not really. Well, it's like, I think these guys are more straightforward death metal with just doomy parts, so I wouldn't really consider them doom. If they are Death Doom, they're definitely more on a, like, 75% death metal, maybe 25% doom, opposed to, like, some of the more death doom bands and more doom metal than death, but yeah. Great shit. Especially if you like the first Paradise Lost in my, yeah, the first Paradise Lost and the first My Dying Bride record. Especially My Dying Bride. Check out this out, so yeah. Mortiferum, Perverse in Torment. In Verloc with Distance Collapse. These guys are from Australia, I think, and I know these guys have two members that were in Disembowelment, so, and it definitely has a lot in common with Disembowelment. They're basically like continuing on where Disembowelment left off, so kind of odd that Disembowelment broke up, but maybe some of the guys in the band didn't want to continue, but I think this has the guitarist and the bassist of Disembowelment. So yeah. Though I prefer Disembowelment, it's still a good record, so yeah. In Verloc, if you want a second Disembowelment record, check it out. So the last CDs I'll show the records too, but the last CDs are non-metal, so if you're only a metal only guy, then I guess fast forward to the LPs. Yes, I like some Radiohead, Kid A, and OK Computer. I don't really like the early stuff when they were just like more alternative rock and stuff's kind of boring, but this is, I would say, like atmospheric progressive rock, so like later Anathema, you could tell they were probably listening to, I don't know which came first, if these guys like started to change first or Anathema, but one of those bands definitely was listening to the other. You could tell that in the songwriting, but I would say of the two records, this one's probably the more famous, but I probably prefer this one, so, but they're still both good though, so. I also need to get in Rainbows, that's another solid record by them. So if you like this atmospheric, kind of progressive rock, I guess, definitely check these out, so. Radiohead, Kid A, and OK Computer. Okay, I got, well, a box set and then two standalone CDs by Yes. So I got the Yes album, Close to the Edge, and then this box set, I'll show you what it has. So first it has the original album series, so it includes something called Going for the One, Tour Motto, Drama, 90215, which is probably my favorite, and then Big Generator. So of the early stuff, my favorite is definitely Fragile, which I didn't buy, they didn't have it, but of the later stuff, I definitely say 90125 is probably my favorite, though that record is definitely a lot different. It's more like modernized and not even really prog. It's more like kind of like, not electronic, but definitely like, not disco either, but kind of like more like electronic based rock than the early just progressive rock stuff. So if I didn't show this good enough, there's like little cardboard sleeves that you pull out the CDs. So I have a couple, I think I have a King Diamond and Obituary box set that have the same kind of stuff in it. So yeah, if you like progressive rock, I'm sure some of you might, but who knows, definitely, I'm sure you know Yes, they're definitely one of the bigger bands in that scene, so yeah. Yes, the original album series, and then Close to the Edge. Probably the most popular, not my favorite, but still good. Oops. Fuck. And then the Yes album. Good shit. So if you're curious about Yes at all, I suggest probably, I would say the most normal one is Fragile or 90125. I definitely suggest those two, but the ones I just showed are all great, so yeah. Yes, good shit. Oh fuck, okay, let's show the LPs too, I guess. Might as well, I'm already here, so. First one I got, the new Wolves in the Throne Room record with Primordial Arcana. So I've honestly, this is the first Wolves in the Throne Room record I've ever bought, which honestly I've like heard the name for a while, but for some reason I kind of like associated them with, well, it's probably kind of shitty, but a lot of people I see them seem to enjoy Death Heaven, which Death Heaven, that stuff sucks, so I kind of figured they were in that style. I never bothered checking them out, but I heard a song from this and I really liked it, so I bought the record. I was really impressed, so definitely good, like, atmospheric black metal stuff. So if you like stuff like Panopticon, Societe de Glace, definitely a fun record. So I've also seen people say this is kind of a departure for them though, which I've checked out some of the records. Maybe I don't have good enough ear for this style of black metal, but I don't really see what the big difference is, but maybe that's just me. So anyway, front, back, I always like their logo. Put out through Relapse last year. I got the nice gold and brown and black splatter edition. And it comes with a little insert. If you like the more atmospheric black metal stuff, which I like some of that, but I'm not one of those guys who goes crazy for it. I definitely prefer the more aggressive stuff. Obviously, so yeah. Good record though, so. I think I have a couple of the other records in my, like, Discogs wish list. I've been checking out this stuff slowly, but yeah. Great shit. Wolves in the Throne Room with Primordial Arcana. Next one, I know this was getting reissued. I thought about buying it online, but I didn't. Luckily, my local record store had copies, so I'm glad they had it. The Blue As Nord record. Just one color. Moya Vatush for one, Follows of the Ice Age. So, probably my favorite record by them. It's either this or the, which was it? I think the second of the 777 trilogy, which this band's discography is kind of weird how they don't do like, oh, it's not like, oh, it'll be like one of their trilogies albums and like 4 random albums in a row, and they won't do another trilogy until like 10 years later, so it's kind of weird. But anyways, guys are from France, I think. Yeah, kind of melodic, but not like a Swedish style or like typical way, but I would say it's more like straightforward black metal with good melodies, I guess, to oppose to the actual melodic black metal. But I know some people have told me that, like, later on they include some industrial stuff, which I'm not really an industrial fan, so those records I haven't bothered checking out, but maybe I will. But if you know my taste, which industrial record you think I'll like the most by them? So anyway, front, back. Yes, I know I'm being kind of fast, like I said. I don't want this video to be too long, like, because I got a lot of shit. So the brown and like kind of like mustard yellow version, put out through Debu and Morty, which I think they put out. Oh, it's good shit. And this comes with a insert, all the lyrics, and then there's that poster. Yep, nice poster. See, I've checked out most of the stuff. The only stuff I haven't heard is their industrial stuff, but I've heard everything else. Everything else I've heard I've really enjoyed, but this is their first record I bought. But if I see some more next time I go to my local shop, I'll definitely pick up some more. So yeah, Blut As Nord, Memoria Vatush for one, Falls of Ice Age. Check it out. Fun record. Next record, I saw some people show the box set of this. I wasn't planning on buying any of these, but I saw this one at my local shop. I decided why not. Windeer, Lickford. This is the only one I have from the new reissues. I've had this one for a while, so I didn't feel the need to pick up the record for that one. I've seen some people say this is their least favorite record by them. I completely disagree. Honestly, this is probably my favorite record by Windeer, honestly, because early stuff I say is more atmospheric, but this is like more aggressive. Like the early stuff could be compared to like, I'd say the more atmospheric stuff of Enslaved, but this I say has more in common with the Swedish stuff, especially Dawn. You can hear a lot of similarities between this and say Near Soul and Hepavro Evogo on this record, especially vocal wise. The guy definitely made like a definite change in his vocal approach, and they definitely got a lot more aggressive. So, and I've said my love for Dawn basically every fucking video I've made. I've said how much I love Dawn. So yeah, there's the front. Also, probably the best artwork too. There's the back, track listing. And I know I've seen a few people show the box set, and that must have been, that's kind of fucked up that they announced the box set and said no standalone, fuck you. Then after everyone bought one, oh yeah, by the way, there was standalone. So that's kind of shitty. And the box didn't even look that nice, which the box was like plywood, so I'm glad I didn't buy that. And yes, I can tell it was plywood because of the grain texture, so that's not actual good wood. They should have used at least like walnut or something. But, oh well. Insert 1 and then insert 2. So yeah, man, if don't listen to what people say this is their worst record. Honestly, most people I've seen say their first two are their best and the last two kind of lackluster. I definitely disagree. This is easily my favorite Windy record, so yeah. Windier, Lickford. If you want them at their most aggressive and like less atmospheric, definitely check this out. So Windier, Lickford, awesome record. And next up, I got a classic I didn't have, and I'm glad I picked it up. Cancer to the Goyens. So their debut record from 1990, I think on Peaceful originally. I don't know if I'm right, but this is a Peaceful repress from 2020 or 2021. No, I don't remember which one of those years, but these guys are definitely, I would say, one of the like more famous UK death metal bands, along with like Bull Thrower and Benediction. Though Bull Thrower is definitely my favorite from those bands, obviously, but these guys are definitely good too, at least the early stuff. Which this first record is kind of a departure from that style, because when I think of UK, I think of like more like mid-paced kind of chunky stuff like Bull Thrower, Benediction, or like they're not from the UK, but also stuff like this has a lot of similarities to a lot of that UK stuff, so. But this record is definitely more thrashy, sounds kind of like more Floridian, so definitely more in common with, say, I don't know, like the 10 Commandments opposed to Realm of Chaos, but they definitely adopted the like UK sound. I think after this record, they got like more mid-paced and kind of heavier, but I definitely prefer this sound to their latest sound, but yeah. Cool artwork. There's the back, or the front, back. Guys in the band, check this thing, Peaceful Repress. Doesn't say what year the repress is from, but I think it's 2020 or 2021. Yellow. Little insert. So I know this has one of the most popular songs. Which was it? Cancer fucking Cancer. Yeah, it's on this one. So besides, no fuck. What's it? Yeah, Cancer fucking Cancer. Into the Acid, To the Gorian, Body Count, Die. Great records. So yeah, definitely I prefer this to the other stuff, but their second record's still good too. I still need that one. So yeah, Cancer, To the Gorian. Okay, so next one is a band I didn't own anything from. That's kind of a pattern today. A lot of these bands I bought somehow were like bands I only own one record by. So oh well. Trouble with, like, is this called self-titled? It says Palm 9, but I think it's also called the self-titled record. So these guys are a doom metal band. I don't remember where from, but honestly, this is kind of like a side of two records. What I mean is, like, the first side has like more in common with some of the like Metal Blade era, like kind of proto-power metal bands like Omen or Savage Grace, and I think it does like, say, Black Sabbath. But the second side is definitely a lot more like doomy, kind of more like mid-pace, like Candlemass or Witchfinder in general. Though it's kind of odd to have those two sides kind of be not uneven, but kind of like not consistent. But it's not really a problem though. It's kind of odd though. You would think it'd be mixed in better, but I'm sure if they rearrange the track listing better, it might flow a little bit better. But oh well. Front, back. Hammerheart repress. This was originally on Metal Blade too, though, so I'm kind of surprised Metal Blade didn't repress this, but oh well. Is it black? Yeah, it is black. comes with a insert. So again, another band I only own one record by. This is the only album I'm familiar with by these guys. So what albums should I check out next by these guys? Let me know. So yeah, Trouble, Palm 9, good, like traditional early doom metal. Though I think it's more this traditional metal than doom, but oh well. Okay, here's another non-metal album. We got Uriah Heep, The Magician's Birthday. So definitely my favorite Uriah Heep record, but honestly, their first 6 records, yeah, I think their first 6 records were all solid, and after that, hit or miss. They got kind of crappy for a while, but I think the last like 5 records they've gotten back to being good again. So, but the early stuff in the 70s is definitely the best. So this is just good kind of like melodic hard rock. So there's the front, back. So if you're a fan of stuff like Deep Purple or Thin Lizzy, definitely check this out. Which I'm not a Deep Purple fan, but this definitely takes dog shits all over anything Deep Purple's ever done, at least for me. It's on a nice gray merge kind of, which they changed the artwork on this album. I'm not sure why, but maybe rights for some reason. But yeah, there's no, and it doesn't show the original album artwork either, which is kind of annoying. But oh well. So yeah, if you just want good like early 70s hard rock, good stuff to chill out to, definitely check out Uriah Heep. This is called The Magician's Birthday, by the way. Definitely my favorite by them. Okay, next we got something in the complete opposite direction. Pessimist with Cult of the United? Yeah. So these guys are a death metal band from New York, and they definitely have that sound, but to me they sound more like some of the Buffalo bands, like definitely closer to say Baphomet and Cannibal Corpse than say Suffocation. Though there was a little bit of Suffocation in there, especially some of the faster parts where they just have like the drum stoppage, the guitar just a little triplet part, and that definitely reminds me of Suffocation. There's some of that in there, but the guitar tone's definitely beefier and reminds me of the Baphomet record, and vocally definitely reminds me of that too. But this came out in I think the late 1997, so definitely like kind of on the brutal side, but not yet, which a lot of that stuff kind of doesn't, just goes over my head, but this is still a good record. So yeah, awesome artwork. There's the front, there's the back. Season of Mist 2021 reissue. So yeah, man, if you like some of the chunkier New York stuff from the early 90s, like Baphomet and Cannibal Corpse, definitely check out Pessimist, Cult of the United. Fun record. Not very original, but still a good listen when I'm in the mood for knuckle dragon shit. Okay, here's one of my, this record I didn't hear, and I just blind bought it because I showed some people, I've seen some people show, and I kind of regret not buying this earlier because this is definitely a great record. This is the, oh fuck me, Argumentum with Desecrated. So these guys are from Portland, though it doesn't sound like a lot of the stuff from Portland. It's not like Fetid or Cerebral Rot. Definitely I would say more like technical, kind of like atheist or cynic with a little bit of like black metal edge, like, so take the technicality of something like cynic or atheist, though just a smidge, a little bit of like Angel Corpse-y kind of vibe, like especially vocally, and you definitely get what this sounds like. Which what made me check this out also with the drummer of Skeletal Remains, I believe, is in this band. They're definitely one of my favorite death metal bands from the last 10 years, so that piqued my interest when I see people mention this guy. So yeah, good artwork, front, back. Put that through $20 spin, so it's not a typical $20 spin release. It's definitely like more intricate and actually more interesting than a lot of this stuff, honestly. So yeah, man, if you like some of the, well, let me show you something. Let me see. So if you like some of the more like, if you want some death metal, it's not your typical modern stuff. You want something definitely more interesting, kind of stands out from the pack, from their contemporaries. Definitely check this out. So yeah, Argumentum with Deconsecrate. So yeah, great record. I wish I would have checked that out earlier, but better late than never. So this is Psy with Eastern Darkness. So these guys are a black metal band from Japan, and they've a lot of their albums kind of sound different from each other. They got like more experimental and more avant-garde later on, but this and their first record, I'd say, is definitely like the most normal sounding. Though at first I wasn't really feeling this, but honestly I like side B better. You could tell they were side C and D better because this is a double OP. You could definitely tell they were getting better later on. I've officially rambled too much. The Uber album just ended, so I put it back in, but whatever, deal with this. So like I was saying, these guys definitely started out as more of a traditional black metal band and definitely got more avant-garde later on, though. Some of that stuff I've checked out, I like it, but what I've heard so far, probably their first record's still my favorite. But this is definitely, I would say, the most raw and primitive, though it's kind of like, not immature, you can just tell they're getting their feet wet. Definitely more uncommon to say, like, be here than what they would do later, though. It's not like as raw or like primitive or nasty sounding, but kind of like more mid-paced. But you could tell they were still going to go in their own direction, definitely like have their own sound. But anyway, front, back, check this thing, double OP like I said. Put that through Peaceful, 2021, yeah, Peaceful 2021. Gatefold. Is black? Yeah, just black's nothing to show. So yeah, if you want Psy at the most primitive, definitely check this out. So this has the 1990 Desolation demo, the 1990 Tragedies demo, the 1992 Requiems for Full EP, the Far East Gate and Inferno compilation 1994, a split with Carfair 94, rare re-recordings from 95 and 96, and then To Hell and Back, the tribute to Venom. So they do black metal, the 7 Gates of Hell, Schizo, Welcome to Hell, Poison, and Witching Hour. So yeah, great shit. Probably one of their best artwork too, also. So yeah, I'm not sure how easy this is to get a hold of. My local record store had copies, so that's why I got it. So yeah, Psy, Eastern Darkness. Okay, next up, we got another record that came out last year that I'm late to the party on, but oh well. So this is Beast with Necrosapiens. So these guys are from, fuck, I don't remember, but I know they get compared to Morbid Angel, sort of, but to me they sound more like Bloodbath, Morbid Angel, and Atheist. Especially the first record, Piece of Time, is kind of like more technical, but not jazzy, but with not hardcore influence, but kind of like more like mid-paced chugging, sort of like you would hear something like, say, Gorefest, for example. But I would say it's definitely more modernized, but definitely the last song, Sea of Vomit, is definitely a good like representation of what this sounds like, kind of. It's like more mid-paced and chuggy, but still a good record. So, front, back, track listing, put that through Century Media, which is kind of funny because they were owned by a major label now, so it's kind of funny that they put out this and like Shinga Sugarbug shit. And no, I haven't bought that Shinga Sugarbug record, so don't ask me. So yeah, man, if you like Morbid Angel, Bloodbath, Atheist, and Gorefest, definitely check out this. So Beast, Necrosapiens, put out through Century Media, and their shipping sucks, so I'm glad that I was able to get that at my local shop. So okay, here's a band I'm sure a couple people are sick of hearing about. Oh well, I had to do it. So this is Halloween Keeper 1 and 2. These aren't OGs, these are represses. So first up, Keeper 1. Definitely by easily my favorite of the two Keepers. It depends on my mood, like either this or Walls of Jericho is my favorite. Just depends like how the wind's blowing that day. But I would say it's definitely one of my favorite album artworks of all time. So I love that artwork. So definitely, you know what Halloween sounds like, but this definitely has more in common with Walls of Jericho than Keeper does. Keeper 2 is definitely its own beast, but this is like still like a continuation of Walls of Jericho, though it's like more mature sounding and has more like mid-paced songs to it too. But there's still like some fast songs like I'm Alive and what's the other one, like Future World, the title track. But yeah, great shit. Front, back, I'm alive. Fuck yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Never mind. I can't sing, especially when I'm sick. Gatefold. They love pumpkins. It's kind of weird, but oh well. Is this black? Yeah, black vinyl doesn't come with anything, but yeah, so. Definitely by far the best of the Keeper albums in my opinion, so yeah. Halloween, Keeper 1, then Keeper 2. Honestly, this one still hasn't really clicked with me yet, to be honest. I like it, but there's something about it, it's kind of like somewhat cheesy. It seems like it's kind of more of a joke, but I don't know, there's some kind of odd moments on this, like Dr. Stein's just... No, there's just some like weird moments. It's kind of like jokey and goofy, and it's kind of like more not. It's kind of a little bit more commercial, but not completely like what they would do later. But it's still good, but still not like. This is something. If I'm in the mood for one of Keepers, I'm definitely gonna spin Keeper 1 most of the time. But if I'm sick of Keeper 1, then I'll go for this one. But definitely not the first record I pull. I'm in the mood for Halloween though. So to be honest, so yeah, front, back. Big key, track listing. Gatefold, more fucking pumpkins. So yeah, man. If you want to check, I'm sure most of you watching this have heard of these, but if you're gonna go with one, definitely check out Keeper 1. But yeah, Halloween, Keeper Part 1 and Keeper 2, fun records. Okay, last two of them were done. Jesus, it's gonna be a fucking long video. I'm sorry. Misfits, Legacy, Brutality. So, my best friend's an asshole. He saw these guys without me. Fucker. Not like you're watching, but oh well. So, he went to a festival and I didn't go because the lineup was pretty garbage. It was mostly like alternative rock and like pop punk and like radio rock shit. But these guys like one of the few bands that would have been cool to see, but. Not my favorite record by them. It's even full length because this is songs that were on other records before. But I think it's probably a compilation or full length. I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, my favorite is probably Earth AD. But most of the stuff is great except the stuff with What's His Nuts. That stuff, no, you know who I mean. But yeah, I know this has Where Eagles Dare. I think was on another song. This She, Halloween, American Nightmare, Static Age. Hybrid Moments, so yeah. Now I'm looking at it, I think some of these songs were definitely on other records. So this is probably a compilation, but yeah. Fun record though. I'm glad to pick it up, so. Misfits, Legacy of Brutality, so. And then the last one. Fuck. Let's figure which way this goes, so. Propagandy with Pokemon City Limits. These guys are like a melodic, kind of thrashy punk band from Canada, though. Not my favorite record by them. That would probably be Less Talk More Rock, but they didn't have that one. They only had this and a record I already have, so if they would have had Less Talk More Rock, I definitely would have bought that instead of this, but this is still a good record though, so there's the... Which fucking way is that? For some reason, I don't know why they had this sideways. Maybe that's the intention to have the album out sideways, but whatever. Anyway, there's the front. Oops. Front and then... Yep, there's the back. Track listing. Is this an OG? No, this is a 2014 repress. Very weird inner sheet, but you can definitely, you will see the message. Definitely against animal cruelty, which I agree with, so that's awesome. And it's black. Yeah, black. Cool label, though. So, yeah, man, if you like kind of thrashy punk shit, that's somewhat melodic, definitely check out Propagandy. Not this record, this isn't my favorite. I would say check out Less Talk More Rock, but this is still solid, though, so yeah. Oh, man, it's going to be a fucking long one, so hopefully you guys grabbed a drink to watch this, so. I'm not sure what my next video will be. Maybe, let me know what you want to see. I may do a probably collection video next, or who knows, maybe I can start doing the CDs, but I want to finish the LP collection before I start moving on to CDs, so maybe black metal collection next. I did death metal last time, or maybe I'll do thrash or traditional metal, but we'll see, so yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.